Hi, Chuck Hawley from West Marine. You know, no matter how big your racing boat or cruising boat is, there may come a time when you're going on some long voyage and you need more water capacity. Well, one way to deal with this is to use a compact 12-volt Watermaker, like this Power Survivor 40 from Katadyn. This is a really popular item with us for cruisers because it allows you to make up to 40 gallons of pure water every day, and it uses a very modest amount of 12-volt power. This is a reverse osmosis Watermaker. That means that it takes water at a very high pressure, 900 pounds per square inch or so, and forces it through a membrane. And when it does this, all the salt and bacteria and soot and all grease and grime and everything stays on one side of the membrane, and only pure water passes through it. As I said, this can produce up to 40 gallons per day, so that's about 1.5 gallons per hour. So, for example, if you're cruising with 4 people, normal consumption might be about 2 gallons per person per day, so you'd run this for 3 or 4 hours during the day and keep your tanks topped off. And the water that is produced, while it's not distilled water, is really good tasting water, and it's free of any impurities. Power consumption for this is a couple of amperes. So even on a sailboat that has a limited amount of charging capability, you can make quite a bit of water without much power consumption. The actual current draw is right around 4 amps. The installation is pretty straightforward. It bolts down to a strong place inside your machine spaces, and you have 3 connections to it. The salt water coming in from the outside, the return salt water, and then out of this little connection is the pure fresh water, which you can run into your tanks. The Katadyn Power Survivor 40 comes complete with a whole bunch of installation gear to make sure that your installation is going to be successful. Let's take a look at some of the stuff that it comes with. To install and to maintain your Power Survivor 40, Katadyn includes a lot of really helpful parts to make this easy. First and foremost, Watermakers fail primarily because they have bad input water. The water comes in from a harbor or some polluted area, and it may have soot or sediment, or it's very turbid. You need to use a pre-filter, so the Power Survivor comes with a 30 micron pre-filter and incidentally a replacement filter as well. Before you go cruising, it's a great idea to bring a case of these along so that you can make sure that the water getting to your Watermaker is as sediment-free as possible. There's a complete instruction book on how to maintain your Watermaker and also how to install it. Very handy information. This odd-looking thing is a manual handle for the Power Survivor. So this turns what is an electrical device into a manually operated device. With this, you can actually make 40 gallons of pure fresh water a day. You just have to pump the handle for 24 hours. Now, you may wonder why they have this. Well, if you're out on a long cruise and you lose electrical power, but you're depending on your Watermaker to make water, you hook this up and in a couple of hours a day you'll have all the water that you need. In addition, there are a whole bunch of valves and tubes, and here's a little pre-filter, all sorts of items that you need to plumb this into your normal fresh water system. Any Watermaker produces a little bit of salty water initially, so you want to make water for about 2 minutes, then throw the valve over and start pumping it into your tank. And incidentally, all Watermakers require that you pickle them when you're not using them for more than a couple of days. When we say pickle, it means taking a small amount of biocide and running it into the Watermaker to keep algae and other growth from forming inside the Watermaker membrane. So all Watermakers will come with a biocide. It's critical that you use this if you're not going to be using the Watermaker for more than a couple of days. If you do what most people do, which is go on a cruise and use it every day, you don't need to worry about the biocide. So the Katadyn Power Survivor 40 comes with a lot of extra gear. It's very reasonably priced. It uses a very small amount of electricity, and it can really improve your standard of living when you go cruising. And it's available at West Marine.